So in 1944, Popular Science magazine explored what it would take to make cars safer. They came up with a lot of great ideas, things like seatbelts, airbags, roll cages. 70 years later, we've actually taken most of those into account. But one of the important things that they were missing was all of these solutions focused on the car itself, not the driver, or specifically the relationship between the car and the driver. So every year, according to the Association for Safe Road Travel, 1.3 million people are killed in accidents worldwide, and another 20 to 50 million people are injured or disabled by those accidents. Now this is a problem, and the reason for this is because of driver distraction and fatigue. People have a very short attention span. We'd almost always rather be doing anything else except actually driving. So what can we do? For one thing, another problem associated with driving is the fact that not everyone can drive in the first place. The handicapped, the blind, they can't just hop in a car and go to Walmart like the rest of us. And then, of course, there are new drivers and inexperienced drivers who might not feel familiar enough with whatever road sign this is to go out and drive safely. So how do we make cars that are both safer and more accessible for people? The answer is artificial intelligence, and specifically deep learning. Deep learning has been at the heart of artificial intelligence in recent times. And what deep learning allows is for machines to derive patterns from raw data. And this means that they can detect obstacles like this motorcyclist, and they can do it far more efficiently than human-defined patterns. In fact, a team of researchers at NVIDIA just last year created a self-driving car with just a few forward-facing cameras, and that was it. And using deep learning, they were able to train an AI to drive a car on public roads in just a few months, showing incredible progress. And then, of course, we've been able to use deep learning to create cars that can navigate complex city environments and even model human behaviors, such as changing lanes, according to a recent study in 2013 from the Mathematical Problems in Engineering journal. But not everyone is quite just ready to let the robots drive and let go of the steering wheel yet. And that's okay, because AI can still help make those people a safer driver. In fact, NVIDIA and other companies as well have worked on turning the AI inwards, using cameras on the inside of the car to track the driver, to see where the driver is looking, and to figure out what they missed. Therefore, the AI can point out things to them and make them a safer driver. It can also recognize things like voice commands. Now you're thinking, if you've got a bunch of people in a car making a lot of noise, it probably won't be able to hear you, and you'd be right. But using inward-facing cameras, we can actually read your lips with astonishing accuracy and detect exactly what you're saying, so that the car will always be able to hear you and respond to you. And then, of course, for the disabled. In particular, Steve Mahan is a 61-year-old man who is legally blind. And a few years ago, he was invited by Google to try out one of their prototype self-driving cars. And what he did with this car was quite simple. He went to go to a drive-thru, pick up a taco, and get his dry cleaning. To the rest of us, this probably seems like a really mundane, boring, normal activity. But for him, this changes everything. This is huge, and it has a huge impact. In particular, the Institute of Transportation Engineering conducted a study on the mobility benefits of self-driving cars to the elderly and the disabled, and concluded that this has the potential to radically change people's lives. One of the most exciting things about self-driving cars, though, is that they're not something from the future. They're already here, and they've already been consistently proving themselves on public roads. So these are some of the cars that are available now, and in particular, not available now, but have been driving now. And in particular, Google's Waymo self-driving car, just this past February, this February, I guess, published a blog post with statistics on how they've been doing. So their car has driven over 2.5 million miles completely on its own and safely. In addition, they've reduced their need for human intervention down to just once every 5,000 miles and have made astonishing progress with these self-driving cars. But that's not all. These are all cars that are coming out later, and we don't quite know when. But self-driving cars are coming out this year. This is Volvo's Drive Me self-driving car that's scheduled to come out by the end of this year. They're here, and it's happening. Google's car is supposed to come very soon as well. So when you go back and you look at the popular science article I showed you at the beginning, you can see just how far we've come to actually making cars safer. And we still have just a little bit left to go. So the next time you get in your car and you're on your daily commute, just think about how much time you're spending focusing on the road, focusing on other cars and other drivers, just trying to stay safe and keep yourself and your passengers safe. Now just imagine that you could use that time to be social, get work done, or do anything else you want, basically, in the car. Imagine that you could get to places where you wanted to go safely and efficiently. Now imagine that that future was coming this year. So the next time you see a car in your rearview mirror, just remember, it could be looking right back at you. Thank you.